Welcome. You may already be familiar with the custom GPT feature in ChatGPT, a great starting point for building your own AI tools. But what if you need more power, more flexibility, and better integration across systems? That's where DiFi comes in. In the demo you're about to see, we'll walk through how DiFi lets you create intelligent AI agents, connect multiple platforms like ChatGPT, Claude, and Perplexity, and even build full AI workflows. Whether you want to upload hundreds of files, integrate with external apps, or create smarter bots, DeFi helps you do more with fewer limits. Let's take a look.
Today, I'm going to show you how Frank and I created a chatbot for his course that specifically allows you to answer questions about the course. So this chatbot is one to which we've given all the PDFs that are part of the course, and it knows how to read them and answer questions accurately. I'll show you this with 5 questions. The first one is, how is AI transforming the customer experience today in CXM applications? Here we can see that the bot is searching through its knowledge base. If we open here, we can see that it has retrieved a certain section, and thanks to that, it will be able to provide a high quality answer. And here at the bottom, we'll be able to see where it went to find its answer. If I ask a second question, for example, can you explain the difference between CX and TX, total experience, and what are the benefits? Here it should go look in another course document. Here, it won't rely solely on its knowledge as an artificial intelligence, but on the documents we've provided. This allows it to deliver a much higher quality answer. It makes a comparison each time, and here we can see that it also went to look in document number 10. Let's ask another question now. For example, how do you implement an omni-channel strategy? And what are the best practices for implementing it? Here we can see that it's searching in several places within its knowledge base. It went to look in document number 6. I'm going to show you the inside of this chatbot. What's really interesting with this model and this chatbot is that it has access to what's called RAG, Retrieved Augmented Generation, which allows an LLM like this one to have access to a huge amount of information. Here I can give it several documents. And actually, if we look at these documents, each time the PDFs, these are the PDFs that were included in the course. So the model can go and look into these documents. And to explain why we can't just give models 400 PDFs, it's not possible because they have what's called tokens in artificial intelligence. But artificial intelligences don't understand words. They only operate in terms of tokens. There is a maximum number of tokens that each AI can accept. That means if you give them 3 full books or 400 PDFs of a certain size, they won't be able to read them all at once and provide an answer. That would be asking too much of them. It would be too many tokens for them. One solution to get around this token problem and still be able to give them PDFs is to take these PDFs and do what's called vectorizing them. And once they are vectorized, the AI can choose to search through these PDFs, but only for the parts it needs. It won't read all 400 PDFs, but only the part it needs. Here, what precisely happens when we take this particular example, where I specifically ask it about omnichannel strategy, is that it will meticulously search its extensive vectorized database for the relevant parts that seem most pertinent regarding comprehensive omnichannel strategy channels, so that it can then probably retrieve the absolutely correct and accurate answer from among the various available PDFs. Now, if I go back to this chatbot, so what actually happened on D5 is that I created a chatbot called the CXM Course Assistant, and I gave it these instructions. So these instructions are what allow it to provide the answer, as we see here. And if we look closely, we can see that I gave it access to acknowledge via D5. So D5, once again, is a tool that really makes it easy to create agents. All I have to do is give it a prompt like this and connect it to acknowledge. And so without having to write any code, I can create agents that are very complex and highly developed. And here I'll be able to choose the model, is an OpenAI model or cloud or another type of model like Perplexity, Gemini, etc. D5 offers a huge number of models, so I can connect to one of these models by entering my API key, and then I can use the model for whatever I want. Here, in the instructions I give it, I'm going to be quite specific. I'm going to show you more about the instruction part and make sure the chatbot fits within the scope of this course. I really want an assistant who is both friendly and pedagogical to explain to students the different CX and CXM in a simple way. What I'm going to do for that is simply ask the chatbot in English to be a CXM expert, to be an assistant who will help Frank with his course, and that its role is to assist students by answering their questions in an accurate and helpful manner. Here, I'm going to specify the tone of voice I expect and how it should respond. And then I'm going to give it a summary of the entire course. In fact, it's very important when talking to LLMs to remember that they don't have the context, they don't have what we have in mind about a given subject. So the more context we can give them, the more elements we can provide to help them understand what we have in mind, the better they'll be able to help us. And so here it's absolutely essential that I give it as much information as possible about Frank's course so that Leah will be able to respond accurately. At the same time, I can't give it the entire course in this section either because, as I mentioned before, there's a limited number of tokens. And also there's the issue of price, meaning that every time someone has a conversation with this chatbot, well, someone has to pay for it. And the longer the prompt is here, the more tokens it takes, the longer the instructions are, the more it costs. So you pay at 2 points. When you send the instructions and when the chatbot writes a response, both times it uses up tokens, and in the AI world, you pay per million tokens used. If I take a model like 3.5, I believe it's $5 per million input tokens and $15 per million output tokens. This gives you a rough idea of the price. And regarding the information I give it, here I'm providing it with as much information as possible about the course. And I also tell it where in this knowledge base, because here in Frankai course, as you saw, I retrieved each module of the course. There are 10 of them. And for each module, I collected all the PDFs, all the documents that Frank provided. I converted them into text format to then give them to D5. And then just like with the system I introduced to you earlier, it can retrieve the entire course and go find the right information in the right place so it doesn't consume too many tokens. Otherwise, that would increase the costs. And if we exceed the model's maximum number, here the maximum number of tokens is 8,000 tokens. If we go over these 8,000, that is, if I give it too many instructions, the model will simply return an error message and not provide its response, which is problematic. Make sure that the prompt here is as important and as complete as possible, but at the same time optimized so that it isn't too long and we don't use too many tokens. So I specify for each module what is included in the module, which allows it to know where to look for the right information. For example, if I ask for case studies on Amazon regarding customer engagement innovation, it will know that this is in module 2 and will be able to find the information in the right place. I detail this for each of the modules, as you can see here, up to the 10th module. And then I will go on to specify other information for it, such as the course format, who the target audience is for this course, and some details about the certification. I put this in a course summary tag, which allows the model to know that everything between this and that pertains to the same subject. This helps to better organize things, to structure the information so that the artificial intelligence knows what we're talking about, knows that the course summary runs from here to that part. So this is just for organization within my account. Next, once we've provided all of this section and the model knows all that, I still need to give it some additional information. I'm going to tell it that when someone, in this case, a student, asks questions, it should follow these steps. Take the time to read and understand the student's question. This isn't an instruction you would give to a human, but for a machine, for artificial intelligence, it's important to spell everything out, to leave nothing to chance. Simply asking it to carefully read and understand the question will activate neural networks within the AI that will help provide a better answer, a higher quality, more precise response. Next, we will ask it to identify which course modules are relevant and then to look for information in the knowledge base, which is what we have right here. And then to formulate a clear and accurate answer based on the student's question. After that, I provide some guidelines for offering a quality response. If possible, to use example from the course, and if the question concerns several modules, to integrate the entire answer in a coherent way. Also, if a question is outside the scope, for example, if you ask about the price of a pizza at Pizza Hut, obviously, the model shouldn't provide an answer. So I ask that it only respond to questions that are relevant to the subject, that is to CXM. So here, I'm clarifying a few important concepts in this way. Here, what's important, I highlight with the hashtag so that's markdown, which will make it a level 1 heading. Then, by writing it in uppercase, the model also understands that it's more important. I use 3 quotation marks to open and 3 to close. Again, this is to help the model have a more organized prompt, making it easier for the AI to read. If I put all the information one after another, it will be less structured, and as a result, its response will also be of lower quality, and it will understand my instructions less well. Here, I just give it a little reminder to make sure it follows the instructions properly. And there you have it. This allows us to have an artificial intelligence model that is trained on the course data and will have a lot of information about the course, enabling it to answer precisely thanks to the PDF that Franck provided to the artificial intelligence. So we don't end up with an AI that just gives generic answers. It will really take these documents into account to provide a quality response. I'd like to show you a few more things about D5. When you create a chatbot on D5, you can make a chatbot or an agent. They are very similar models. Each time, we will give them instructions. The difference is that the agent will be able to access tools like Gmail Sender, Google Search, Google Calendar, and DALL-E. So you can tell it when the user makes this request, you can send an email to this person. So now you have a chatbot that can now send emails or check your calendar. For example, if you create a chatbot that automatically replies to emails, at some point you might want, for instance, for prospecting emails where someone offers you a meeting, to accept or decline the meeting, you first need to check your availability. So in this case, Google Calendar module within an agent would be more relevant. The chatbot is the same thing, except that you don't have access to the various tools we can see here. The text generator is very simple. The user sends a text, and then the model responds. We don't have this conversational aspect where the chatbot can store information and continue responding. If you take the idea of a chat flow or a workflow, the two are very similar, But the idea is that these are modules that are linked together. That is, starting from a single request, you'll be able to carry out a series of actions. So I'll show you that. We can also create a template on D5. So that way you also see the template feature on D5. I also think it's interesting to show you that you can export the DSL. The DSL is actually the code that creates these agents. So here I can delete it this way. And then by importing the DSL, I'll be able to get the same chatbot back. This allows me, for example, to send a chatbot I've created to a friend, and they'll be able to simply import it into D5 using the DSL file. So now I'm going to delete it, and now I can go back to the template and this time use the block generator. Now it still says I have 5, so I'm going to refresh. Now I should have 4 applications. And there you go. Now I can create it. So here it asks for these 2 modules to be installed. So I'm going to install them, and that allows you to connect Google and OpenAI. I'm installing them. They're installed. And now you can see that there are explanations, etc., about how the workflow works. But basically, we'll be able to provide this module. If I click play, run, it will ask me, as you can see here, for the keyword, the title, the target audience, the brands to avoid, and the tone of voice. And so here, I'll be able to specify all this information. And then, for example, if the title is empty, it will generate a title using ChatGPT 3.5. And then if it's not empty, it will do a Google search with the title and then go through different steps to create the blog article. Once again, a blog article is a complex task. You can't do it with just a single prompt. Generally, you need to start by creating the structure of the article, also do some keyword research, search the internet, usually about the topic, to gather a lot of information on the subject, and then generate the blog article. And so with a typical workflow, you can handle all these steps. For those who have seen the video on Make, that's pretty much what we did there. And here it's quite similar, but on DeFi with a slightly different process. There you go. I hope DeFi is a bit clearer for you now, and that you also understand the stakes of RAG, retrieval augmented generation, which allows LLMs to access a huge number of documents without using too many tokens either.